West Virginia already getting a jump start on the 2027 class as a commitment came in from running back Armand Hill. So let's talk a little bit about Armand now, because this is a big-time pickup for West Virginia. You'll see it in his offer list. You'll see it in some of his stats and his highlights. We'll take a look at some of those as well here momentarily. So Armand Hill, let's take a look at him here on 247. They list him 5'8", 170. I think that Rivals lists him at 5'10", right around 180. So on our commitment tracker, I kind of split the difference, listed him at like 5'9", 175. But, he's right in there. He's going to have, room to grow. He's only a sophomore in high school, so who knows what his size will be by the time he gets to WVU here in a couple of years. But super impressive already, guys, because you got to know, in high school, it's hard enough to even get onto the field and play varsity football as a freshman, right? And not only does Armand Hill play varsity football as a freshman, but he excels and stands out even as a freshman. Now he's in his sophomore season, just wrapped that up. He'll be going into his junior season once the fall comes around. But, in the first 2 years, as a freshman and sophomore in high school, he's ran for over 3,000 yards. He's racked up a ton of touchdowns. And one game in his freshman season, which we'll take a look at that game, look at some highlights from it momentarily, he ran for 495 yards as a freshman in high school in a game. So, definitely impressed by Armand Hill. Out of the Pennsylvania area, West Mifflin, like I said, 2027 class, not yet rated on 247 Sports. That's going to change, but when we pull up the Rivals profile momentarily, you'll see how highly regarded he is already on Rivals, and you can expect similar ratings on 247. And one way you can tell that is look at the offer list. Michigan, Penn State, Pitt, all wanted in on this guy. And we're talking about a guy that's just finished up a sophomore year in high school and already has multiple Power 4 offers, multiple Division I offers, and already, blown away by West Virginia, recruited by Blaine Stewart. And, we knew running backs would be wanting to come play at West Virginia in the Rich Rod offense. And, of course, after how we talked about Larry Porter on the last stream, I think that's going to add to that as well. He was a National Recruiter of the Year in the past. He's really been good at developing running backs, and already running backs wanting to come play at WVU here with Rich Rod and company back in the helm now. So let's pull him up on Rivals so you guys can see how kind of highly regarded he is on there. Already, one of the Rivals top 250 players in the entire country. He's actually on the higher end of that, in the top near 130, rated 134th nationally. They have him as a top 10 running back in the class. So we have one of the top 10 running backs in the 2027 class committed, and the top 4 players in the entire state of Pennsylvania as well. Rivals has him as a 4-star. Borderline 5-star, and this could be someone that could earn that 5th star by the time it rolls around. Remember, he's only going to be going into his junior year, so super excited. West Virginia picks up the verbal commitment. And a little bit more info here from Rivals. Keenan Cummings does a good job with these commitment 101s. We've shared him talking about transfers in the past, but now talking about a high school recruit that's very impressive. Like we said, ran for 495 yards in a game as a freshman once. So there's one thing to know, but here's plenty more about him. Keenan Cummings sharing some of this, and we'll kind of read through this briefly. Announced his choice on social media, picking the Mountaineers over a long list of offers, including Michigan, Penn State, Pitt, Maryland, Syracuse, and more. West Virginia had been heavily involved with Hill for quite some time, first extending a scholarship offer in January 2024, Blaine Stewart serving as the lead recruiter there. Dynamic athlete, has the ability to play either side of the ball, but obviously recruited as a running back with how highly regarded he is at that position. And you'll see some of that for yourself when we show some of these highlights from his huddle momentarily. First commitment for West Virginia in the 2027 cycle, and gives the Mountaineers a major jump in the class as he's rated the number 134 best player in the entire country and was named first team all-conference last season. Then we go here to look at a little bit of his skill set. Hill has the type of speed and vision you want out of a running back in this West Virginia offensive scheme. He has excellent vision and his ability to find the hole and then use his speed to get downfield. At his size, Hill possesses plus contact balance and routinely sheds arm tackles. And one of the most exciting parts is right there, a home run threat. Like I said, you'll see some of that momentarily. Hill is able to get into the open field and then pull away from defenders for big chunks of yards with plus speed. Good fit for what West Virginia wants to do, little waste of movement, and he's able to get vertical quickly and create big plays. Still has 2 years left of high school to improve, and it's obvious that it's a major addition all around for West Virginia at a critical position in the scheme. So there's a little bit more on Armand Hill, who we can say highly regarded in this 2027 class. which he is indeed the first commitment for West Virginia in that 2027 class, which allows me to start a commitment tracker for the 2027 class now. Showed you the one we have going for 2026 to open this up here with this recruiting talk, but now we have our first addition here to the 2027 verbal commitment list, and it's a big one. Running back Armand Hill out of Pennsylvania. Should probably list his position here. Looks like I forgot to do that, but running back Armand Hill, 5'9", 175, currently somewhere around that range. Got a little bit of discrepancy between 247 and rivals on his size, but of course we'll get that narrowed down by the time he gets here. But West Virginia's first commit in 2027 out of Pennsylvania, and it is a big one. But don't take my word for it. Don't take the numbers' word for it. Let's look at some plays so you can see it for yourself here. And like I said, this is from his 495-yard rushing game that he had against Hopewell High School as a freshman. So we're talking, what is he, 14, 15 years old here when he's doing this, 495 yards rushing in one game. That's right. But here are some highlights from it. See him there in the backfield, and right away on this first play, you can see that speed, that extra gear. Because, a lot of these guys he's facing 3-4 years older than him and already has that type of breakaway speed that he's probably only going to improve on as he gets bigger and stronger. This is against Hopewell High School. Absolutely incredible game that he had in that one. But then if you go look at his entire, freshman season highlights, and then of course his sophomore season, which he just wrapped up as well, probably even more impressive. This was when he was a freshman, but I just had to show highlights of this because I've never known a freshman to run for nearly 500 yards in one game. And, in his 2 years playing high school football, he's ran for over 3,000 yards already. And he still has 2 more seasons of high school football left before he comes to the Mountaineers. So, like we said, highly regarded, one of the top players in the class for the running back position, and I think that his rating will probably only improve. Obviously, when you get someone this early in the cycle, the main thing that you worry about now is, not flipping, having someone flip them, and West Virginia is going to have to fight off plenty of suitors, as this guy, I think, could end up as a 5-star recruit. I truly believe that he really very much could, especially doing this stuff, as young as he is. So there's some highlights of Armand Hill's game. Like I said, I encourage you guys, check it all out, but wanted to give you guys a brief taste there of the latest edition and the only current addition to the 2027 WVU football recruiting class. Before you head out, be sure to hit that thumbs up button and subscribe to the channel here on YouTube. Appreciate you guys as always. I'm Jordan Cruz, and until next time, let's go Mountaineers.